Hey, I'm out here fishing a lake where there's mostly smaller fish, and the thing is, when I'm using smaller fish, I don't like to use the same tackle. There's one of them. I don't like to use the same tackle as I would for other bass lakes or other lakes where I'm fishing for bigger fish, because you just don't get the same fight. So to make it more sporting, what I'd like to do is I like to use a 4'6" ultralight rod, like this Fluger micro spin. It's only 4'6", it's really whippy, and when I get a bass it's about half a pound. It literally feels like a 2 to 3 pounder just because of the way it fights on this smaller rod. So if you are ever fishing a lake where you know there's going to be smaller fish, and you expect to catch smaller fish, it could be panfish, it could be bullhead, it could just be small bass, pick up ultralight rod. It'll make it way more fun, and it'll seem like it's a lot more sporting too for the fish as well. I got this bass, it's like half a pound. And it literally feels like it's a 2 to 3 pounder just on this little rod. He actually pulled a little bit of line there at the beginning. Get like belly on that little guy. Fatty. I had to hold him up far just to make him look what he feels like on this little rod. But literally that bass is a half a pound.
Getting set up for ultralight fishing is pretty simple. Once you've got your rod and reel, line's the next important step. I choose between 4 and 6 pound line. 6 pound if I'm fishing in an area where there might be bigger fish around, like decent sized bass, trout, or even pike. 4 pound if all I'm catching is perch, sunfish, crappie, and small bass. 5's a happy medium, but on this particular day I'm using 6 pound spider wire. I like the spider wire line because it's sensitive, it's thin, and it's super strong too. For baits, when I'm bass fishing I like to use a 4.75 inch bottom hopper junior. That's a plastic worm in the Havoc series that Berkeley makes, but whatever brand you prefer will work. Look closely here, and you'll see the fish come and bite my lure. It swims in the screen, and then I start putting some action on the rod here, jiggling that worm to make it look lifelike. Eventually that fish can't handle it anymore, he eats it, and before he knows it, there he is in the boat.
This fish is an example of what you can bring in with a little tiny rod. This one fought like about a 5 pounder on a little itty bitty 4'6" ultralight. Wow. It's a nice fish.